there, Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. Okay, so in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the glow, applause and aliveness of those of you who have your sun located within your 10th house within your natal birth chart, but also for those of you who have the sign of Leo ruling your 10th house within your birth chart as well, or if you have a Leo midheaven. But before we do get started, make sure that you give this video a like if you like it. Also make sure to subscribe if you have not already, and to click that little bell icon in order to keep yourself updated with further content from myself. And one more quick thing to mention, if you would like to know more information all about your Leo house along with your sun sign and your sun house, as well as your 5th house within your birth chart, then I have created a Leo season/archetype ebook. So what I am going to do is I'm going to provide a link to that ebook in the description box below so that you can pick up your copy today if you would like. Okay, so with all of that being said, then sun in the 10th house and Leo ruling the 10th house / Leo midheaven individuals, let's do this. Okay, so if you have sun in the 10th house or Leo ruling the 10th or Leo midheaven, then what this suggests is that you're someone who might get your ego and your identity really wrapped up in your achievements and accomplishments. And so to be applauded and to be recognized for these things might mean a great deal to you. And the same goes for your chosen career or profession, and also the same can be said when it comes to your reputation or your social status or your public image. So for example, maybe you don't like it when someone takes credit for something that you created or for something that you achieved, especially if that thing required a lot of your time, a lot of your effort and a lot of your energy. And so in this way, you really do like to be recognized for what you create within the world. Even if you might not directly express this or show this on the outside, or even if you might be the type of person who acts all humble, or if you might be the type of person who hides these things. See, it's you who understands the climb. You understand the strength and the perseverance that it takes to reach qualified levels and pinnacles of success. You understand what it takes in order to get really, really good at something, in order to master a certain craft or an art or a profession. Perhaps you're someone with a very bold and self-assured work ethic yourself. And so in this respect, you're probably very hardworking, very dedicated, very ambitious, especially towards your career, towards your chosen profession. Though naturally, however, it's also good to consider whichever sign the sun is in, if it is that you do have sun located within your 10th house, because the sign can give you more of an indication or more of an insight into the type of career that you choose to pursue. And I think it can also provide more of an indication into the type of work ethic you have. But regardless of what you set out to do for the long term, you might be very dedicated and very forceful and ruthless along your journey. You may possibly even seek to be self-proclaimed. So if you decide, you know what, I want to publish a book, for example, you might turn around and declare yourself as an author or as a writer. Or if it is that you decide to be a business owner, as another example, you might declare yourself as the CEO of that business, or you might declare yourself as an entrepreneur. Or if you decide, I don't know, to be titled a director, a painter, a dancer, an entertainer, an actor, an influencer, whatever it may be, an ambassador, whatever it is, you basically do so because you decided, hey, that's what I want to be known for. And you just might be rewarded within this particular profession that you choose as well. This could be something as small as winning Employee of the Month, or this could even be you being rewarded with a gift voucher, or this could be even something as big as winning a Nobel Prize, or being known as one of the greats. So following on from this point, you might prefer a profession where you're an authority of some sort. So whether that be you as a supervisor, a manager, or as a boss. And if others backmouth you on the job, especially in front of other people, especially in front of members of the public, or if they try to undermine your authority in any way, you might be very expressive and vocal as you let them know who is boss, so to speak. Being humiliated in front of other people, especially in front of others who you associate with your professional title, it could be suggested that it's a bit of a blow to your ego and your pride if this was to happen. Then again, even if you don't necessarily want to be an authority, you still might seek to be respected and admired for whatever position you choose. Ultimately, it's within your chosen profession that you shine and you glow. You sort of light up, you come alive within this area of your life, and so the more praise and the more recognition, then the better. On the other hand, perhaps it would be a good idea to check yourself though here as well within this area of your life, because there may be a tendency of you acting too big for your boots sometimes, where you can act more important than you actually are. So for example, this could be you assuming that you're ready for a promotion because to you, you know all there is to know about that company or about the position. But yet, whenever you go to perform the tasks associated with the new position, you feel a little bit in over your head. So if this is the case for you, then it might be within your best interest to accept that things take time, okay? And also that perhaps you don't know everything there is to know. However, I also think that it might be these lessons that you really, you learn growing up. So the more you mature, the more you grow. It's these types of lessons that start to happen, and that with time then, and then with maturity, you become much more aware of the slower, steady building process. Maybe throughout your younger years, you hit many limits and blockages when it came to your professional life or when it came to your achievements. But it's these limitations that provided you with some hard and some not so hard lessons overall. And even better yet, perhaps your father, he played a role in teaching you about such lessons, such as him urging you to knuckle down and get to work, or him placing uncomfortable pressures on you so that you learn how to work effectively within the confines of time. Maybe even for some of you, your father was your hero, he was your role model. Maybe he still is until this day. Maybe he is someone that you respect or that you respected a lot. Or maybe for others of you, you fought or you still fight for your father's recognition and his acknowledgement. Perhaps no amount of success is enough in his eyes, or perhaps you want so badly to follow in his footsteps. Though I will say that perhaps it's more of those difficult aspects to the son that can maybe be associated with the desperation for his recognition or the fighting for his recognition, whereas more of those harmonious aspects to the son maybe more correlate with you really looking up to your father and admiring him a great deal. But whatever the case may be here, your father has influenced your future decisions and your long-term choices today due to the mighty lessons that he taught you. Furthermore, I also think that it's these limitations that have shaped or will shape you greatly, and they might also humble you to an extent as well, or at least teach you about the importance of being patient and being persistent, along with the importance of self-respect and integrity as well. And like I was saying earlier, perhaps you understand the climb, because as an individual, you've had to learn how to play the professional game of life, so to speak, even if you might not necessarily agree with it. Now, on a much bigger scale, this could very well be you seeking after fame and glory and top level social status. But on a much more smaller scale, this could be you being a supervisor or a leader at a clothing store or at Starbucks, for example. Though essentially here, I think that you're someone who's really up to speed with all of those building blocks. So for example, you're maybe very much aware of what qualifications you need in order to gain a particular position, or maybe you're aware of the goings on between people at the top and what is required of you in order to get there. Perhaps even knowing these things, you're like, no, that's not for me. Or it could even be that you're aware of the type of persona that you gotta put on in front of the public if you are to be admired and be applauded and respected and taken seriously. Especially if it is that you have some sort of product that you wish to sell to the public that you created in your spare time, for example. Which, following on from this point, if you have a social media or if you're a creator on social media, you might be intrigued as to how you can use social media as a tool for success. Then again, even if you're not necessarily a creator yourself or an influencer, maybe you're just really clued into the people that you follow and you appreciate. Maybe you like to compliment and applaud those online who you really like. Perhaps you often see yourself in other people online that you follow. Or perhaps you look at other people's journeys and their successes online and you think to yourself, you know, I would like to see myself getting to that level one day. Now, of course, I mean this in a good way, where you look at others as role models, or where you look at people who you feel motivated by. But naturally, it can also go the other way, where you can maybe become a little bit petty or overbearing, or where you can give into the whole numbers game, resulting in you sort of losing yourself. Which, can I also just say here, your own sense of identity, it can sometimes rely too much on your professional title or role. So just be aware of this, because to over-identify, I think, too much with your reputation or with your public image, it can lead to some difficult places, such as you feeling worthless if or when your career ever comes to an end. Or this could be you feeling completely worthless if it is that you don't reach that level of success that you seek after. Or it could quite possibly be a situation here where you take your loved ones for granted, where you don't really make a lot of time for them, as another example. Which I suppose is another thing, is the whole over-identifying with your public persona, where you depend on the recognition and the applause from the public, so much so that you forget about the ones at home, or you forget about the ones who really do matter within your own private domain. So yeah, it might be beneficial not to lose sight of your objectives and your goals. Sun in the 10th house, Leo ruling the 10th house individuals, and why you decided upon a particular career path in the first place. But also keep in mind those along your journey as well. On the other hand though, it could very well be that your purpose on this earth is to be a career orientated individual, someone who takes pride in your reputation and your social status, whatever the title you hold. So perhaps you're here to climb the ranks, or perhaps you're here to be a leader. Then again, maybe you're here to be a parent, or perhaps your purpose is connected with children in some way. Whether that be you creating children of your own, or that be you leading children in general. Though in terms of you being a child yourself, maybe growing up you were encouraged by your parental figures to be successful or to be a star. Maybe your parents paid very, very close attention to you, and they did this in order to ensure that you would grow up to be a somebody. Or maybe they just really wanted you to shine or glow, but this was performed by imposing their own individuality onto you. And if this was the case, maybe, just maybe, your parents already mapped out for you your purpose, so to speak. Now, this doesn't mean that they were wrong for doing so. Perhaps they just really wanted what they thought was best for you, or maybe this path or their opinion, it actually does align with you as an individual. Maybe it is quite authentic to you anyway. But still, perhaps a part of your purpose is actually, it's associated with your individual purpose and what that means to you. Maybe there are other members of authority who influenced you a great deal growing up, such as teachers or other family members, or maybe you looked around you as a child and you observed many members of authority who existed within your family, like an older sister working as a policewoman, for example, or your uncle working as a choir director as another example, or your father working for the government. And if it was that you witnessed family members holding these types of positions growing up, quite possibly these things struck a chord with you, resulting in you saying something like, well, do you know what, that's what I want to aspire to be one day. Yeah. Not that you necessarily wanted to be in that exact position, but perhaps these authoritative positions they helped you recognize the heights that you can potentially reach, provided that you work hard and you put in the time. And so for you, Sun in the 10th house, Leo ruling the 10th house individuals, maybe you like the thought of owning your career or feeling satisfied and fulfilled within your chosen career. A type of career that you feel good and energized about attending each and every day, or as much as you need to. But at the same time, a career that gets you really facing challenges so that you can learn and you can grow from them in order to get better. A career that speaks to your heart and gets you expressing your individuality with pride and confidence. But most importantly, a career where you know that you worked your butt off to get to a certain position due to your strong and ruthless determination. Seriously, it's you, Sun in the 10th house, Leo ruling the 10th house individuals who have a powerful work ethic and stamina. You can take on longer hours if you need to. You can show up to a particular company you work for and show great enthusiasm, attention and focus. And you can put yourself out there by making bold career moves when the time is right. And throughout this process, you might influence and you might encourage others. And others might also applaud you and respect you for your dedication and for your mighty drive. So ultimately, it's you who is up for taking on any difficult challenge or obstacle as you make your way gradually to the advanced level that you're so eager and willing to accomplish, Sun in the 10th house, Leo ruling the 10th house individuals. And for that, you should be applauded, because as the rest of the world might be making excuses, well, it's you who makes it happen. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video on the glow, applause and aliveness of those of you who have Sun within your 10th house, but also for those of you who have Leo ruling your 10th house or Leo midheaven within your birth chart. Now, if you happen to have any of these placements, then please be sure to let us know what you thought of the video in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And again, if you have not yet subscribed, then make sure you do so by clicking that subscribe button, and make sure that you like this video as well, remember. And I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!